Hello guys, welcome to Unit 4, Class 2 of Grade 2 English. In Class 1 of Unit 4, you taught the students about the past events, then present events and future events. In this class, we will be talking about the same thing, but we will give a detailed idea about this past event, present event and future event. Detailed idea means we will teach the students how they can speak when they are talking about something in the present, when they are talking something about past, and when they are talking about something that will happen in the future. See, now before you start the class, you help the student reminding what you taught in the last class as a brief reminder. How? Today is today, and this is a present event. Yesterday is day before today, so yesterday is a past event. Anything happened in yesterday, it is a past event. Anything happens today is a present event. Anything that will happen day after today is a future event. That means tomorrow is a future event. That means today is present, yesterday is past, tomorrow is future. Now, then you go to the next section. Next section is talking about anything that happens today is a present event. And in case of present event, we can say or we can talk about it in different way. In the sentence construction, the student have learned about subject, verb and object, right? So they will know about these things very well. So I go home. If I'm talking about you, then you say you go home. Then if it is Samir or any other person except for I or you, that means I means I, you means you. We are in front of each other, right? We can see each other. If there is another person who is not here, or we are talking about a third person, then we will use the name of that third person. For example, Samir goes home. See, look here. If we are talking about Samir, we use goes, not go. For me, I used I go home. For Samir, we are saying Samir goes home. So make sure you note this point to the student or explain it to the student, because we are talking about another person who is alone. That's why we are saying goes home. So instead of Samir, you can name other students. Rahim, Karim, Samir, Uruf, Arab, whatever names your students have, you put those names here instead of Samir. First teach them I go home, you go home, Samir goes home. Now instead of Samir, you replaces the names of your students. That's one trick, right? This is all about a thing that is happening today. Now, if the same thing happened yesterday, that means day before today. If you went home or go home the day before yesterday or day before today, it's a past event. And how you can say about this? The same three sentences you will be saying here. I went home. You went home. Samir went home. Now here you compare between these two versions of the sentence. In first sentence you see I go home. Here, as it has happened day before today, that means yesterday, we are saying I went home. You go home, it is today, And if it is day before today, you are saying you went home. Now, Samir goes home. Here we are saying Samir went home. Look at this. Here went is always went. So if we are talking about a past thing or past event, then see what changes? The verb of the sentence changes. You'll say went, I go home, I went home. Now you tell the difference between these sentences. Then you talk about the future one. If something that is going to happen after today, that means tomorrow or day after tomorrow, then we call it a future event. Now, if the same task, that means going home, is about to happen tomorrow, that means you will go home tomorrow. If that is the situation, how we can say these three sentences? See, I will go home. You will go home. Samir will go home. See, this is how you compare. Now you bring three sentences on your whiteboard. I go home, I went home, and I will go home. Past, present, future. You say like this way. So, past, I went home. Present, I go home. Future, I will go home. Now, here, look, compare these three sentences. You can see changes. What changed? Did the subject change? No, I always remain I. Did the object change? Home always remained home. Nothing changes between the subject and the object of these sentences. So when time changes, what changes? Look at this, the verb changes. Go become went, and when it is talking about a future time, it becomes will go. This is what you ought to teach your students. So once the time changes, the verb changes. The pronunciation or the way we say the verb, we say it in different way. So if you're talking about something that happened before today, you use the past form of verb. If something that will happen after today, you use the future form of verb. And if something happens today, then you use the present form of verb. Now, the student might ask you, what is a form of verb? Then you say, well, we will learn about the forms of verb later. Okay? In the next section, you'll see same example is given in three different forms, and also there are explanations. These explanations are not for the students. These are for the you. You help them understand it using that explanation. You do not ask them to read those explanations in the classroom. Don't do it. You help them understand those explanations. Follow me. I'll give some examples, then you should follow the rest of it. The next thing are the examples. Look at these examples. He repairs a car. This is happening now. That means he repairs a car. The next thing, if he did that thing yesterday, we would say he repaired a car. See, repairs become repaired. And then, if he has not done it yet and he is about to do it tomorrow, then we could say he will repair a car. See, he repairs a car, he repaired a car, he will repair a car. Look at this. He repairs a car. He remains he repairs and the car. Subject and object are same in all these three sentences. What changes? The verb changes. Repairs become repaired when we are talking about yesterday, and if we are talking about tomorrow, then he will repair a car. This is the explanation. This is what you will try to make sure the student understands. So you make versions of this explanation. You at least say it in 3 different forms to the student. Tell it in your native language, that means the Rohingya language. Use English language, and if possible, use 2-3 different ways of telling this to your students. I will try to give you some other forms of delivering the same issues, right? The next example, I go to beach. Beach means sea beach. I went to beach and I will go to beach. There are different ways of doing this. How you can explain it? Student, if I go to beach today, right now let's go to near the sea. The example could be like this. If we all go to the beach right now, we could say, I go to beach. Now, if we did that yesterday, that means not today, sometime before today, then we would say, I went to the beach. Now, if we are planning here, that means we're talking that, well, we will go tomorrow or someday after today to the beach, then we'll say, I will go to the beach. Or rather, you could say, we go to the beach. We went to the beach. We will go to the beach. This is another source of examples. The next example is he wins the competition. He wins the competition. That means this guy is winning a competition today or the present time. Now, if the same thing, that means he won this competition, but it is not today, it is some point of time before today, then we would say he won the competition. He won the competition. If the competition's final is tomorrow or day after tomorrow, he is not winning it today, right? He will win it that day. It's future. It's not happened yet. In this case, we will say he will win the competition. Guys, this is how you explain it. Have you got me? Now, you can say this in your native language. Like this. Well, he wins the competition. সে কি করলো? কম্পিটিশনটা জিতে গেল। সে কম্পিটিশনটা জিতে গেছে কখন? আজকে, এখনকার সময়ে, প্রেজেন্ট টাইমে। নাও এইটা যদি গতকালকে হতো, অর্থাৎ আজকে না হয়ে কালকে হতো বা তার আগের কোনো সময়ে হতো, then we would have said it like he won the competition. নাও এইটা যদি এখন না হয়ে কালকে হয়, তার পরের দিন হয় বা সামনের কোনো একটা সময়ে হয়, then আমরা এটাকে কি বলবো? ফিউচার বলবো। then we'll say he will win the competition. Now, this is how you explain it in your Rohingya language. Then you explain it in English. Then you explain it in another form. And then go through all the exercises. That means the examples that are given. You ask them to read it. You ask them to write it. Next one, she runs fast. This is present. She ran fast. This is past time. She will run fast. So you keep 3 examples together, show how the verbs are changing. See, main objective here is to make sure the student understand when we talk about different time, the verb, only the verb changes. Only one particular area of the sentence changes. That's the main objective here. Now, next one, I see a red car. Well, obviously, I can see a red car, or maybe it's a blue car. I could say, I see a blue car. Now, it is now happening. Now I'm seeing it. If I saw it yesterday, then I would say, I saw a red car. I saw a blue car. The next thing, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe if we go to the road tomorrow, we will see a red car. In that case, I'll say, I will see a red car, or I will see a blue car. Did you get me? Go through the rest of the 3 examples like this. I make this for you. This is today. I made this for you yesterday. I will make it for you. That will happen in future. She is listening to music. That means it is happening now. She is listening to the music now. Right now, if you just play some of the music in your classroom and say, I am listening to music, this is happening now. It's the present. Now, if it has happened yesterday, if I did the same task, same thing yesterday, then I would have said, I was listening to music. Now here, she was listening to music. Another thing, she will be listening to music. That means she might do it later, tomorrow, or today. Later today is also a future time. But do not confuse the student yet with these things. So say, tomorrow I will be listening to music. Maria is paying the bill. She is paying it now. Maria paid the bill. Or Maria was paying the bill. She did it yesterday. Now, Maria will be paying the bill. It will happen day after tomorrow or day after today. That's the future. Now, this is how you explain it. Then you do the exercises in the classroom. Do not forget the rules of thumb when you're talking about the exercise. First you teach the lesson, then you give them the exercise to do on their own. Then you give them the result or answer to these exercises. I think you guys are doing something wrong here. You are giving the answers today and then they are memorizing it, and then you are asking it. Do not do it. You teach them, you take the exercise, then you explain the exercise and give the answers to the students. Change the sequence of it. That's it for Unit 4, Class 2. See you in the next class, guys.